For each activity that a business carries out in respect of personal data, it has to meet at least one of the processing conditions. Now, under the current Data Protection Act regime, a lot of businesses have relied on consent. And so what you have tended to see is businesses saying in their privacy policy, we do all of this stuff with data, and now please click at the end to agree to all of that. So it's basically consent. The problem with GDPR is it introduces some new standards for consent, which at a really high level mean that for each processing activity that you carry out where you rely on consent, you have to have a separate positive opt-in. For most businesses who carry out, perhaps 20, 25 different processing activities, that is potentially 20 different opt-in consents, which is not really practical. So businesses are now looking at the other processing conditions and working out what they can do with those. So I'm going to touch on a couple of the most common ones. The first one, contractual performance, covers most of what a business does. So the idea here is that you need to carry out the processing activity in order to provide your goods and services. The second processing activity that's of interest is legal obligation. So this means that you have a legal requirement to do the processing activity. The best example would be, as a law firm, we have to carry out money laundering checks on our clients. Therefore, we take copies of passports, utility bills, and we run that information through some electronic software. It's covered by legal obligation. We don't need consent for that. Third processing condition is employment. So this covers most of what you do with your employees. So everything from information you get in context of recruitment through to paying them and obviously keeping records of absence, illness, those sorts of things. And the final one I'm going to touch on is something called legitimate interest. Well, this is actually a very interesting one. There's sort of three, if you like, requirements for it. The first is that it is something that's useful to our business. Secondly, it's something that data subjects would not be surprised about us doing. And thirdly, it doesn't harm the data subjects. So the best example I can think of this is what we call profiling. You go onto an online platform, perhaps it's a clothing platform, you look at some floral swimwear. The platform sees that you're interested and they send you a nice follow-up email a couple of weeks later suggesting you might like to look at sunglasses, sun hats and a floral dress. That's based on them looking at your usage of the platform, building up a profile about you and then sending you a targeted communication about it.